Are you guys cooking the books?
I think we're not, but I also know that there are a couple of investigations run by this
Well, you
committee.
settled a case too, didn't you? You just settled a case where someone said you were cooking the book. Is
In
Mr.
crime.
Pemberton lying, head of the FOP?
Yes.
You think he's lying? Wow. You have a classification for crime called taking property without right. What does that mean?
It means just what it said, if that's what the crime is.
Why not just call it stealing? That's what we would all. Someone comes and takes something that belongs to me, or someone comes and takes something that belongs to you. We call it stealing. Why create this new category that grows 500% that I think allows you to cook the books? Mr. Mendelson, is crime up or down in the last month here in D.C.?
It's down.
Down significantly, right? Robberies down 42%, deadly weapon assaults down 13%, carjackings down 85%, car theft down 24%, violent crime down 25%. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Before last year, before the surge, violent crime was down 26%. After the surge, violent crime was down 27%.
Yeah, I thought you would say that before the surge that violent crime was down. But the chairman of the Fraternal Order, in fact, you said, I think you tweeted out, or you put a statement out on August 12th, violent crime in the district is at its lowest levels we've seen in 30 years.
Correct.
But the head of the Fraternal Order of Police, Mr. Pemberton, said, when our members respond to the scene of a felony offense, inevitably there will be a lieutenant or a captain that will show up on the scene and direct those members to take a report for a lesser offense. Are you guys cooking the books?
I think we're not, but I also know that there are a couple of investigations run by this committee.
Well, you settled a case too, didn't you? You just settled a case where someone said you were cooking the books. Is that right?
I can't speak to that case. I don't have familiarity.
Well, we know it was settled. It's been reported.
But I do know there are collateral statistics that affirm the reduction in crime.
Is Mr. Pemberton lying, head of the FOP?
Yes.
You think he's lying? Wow. Well, let me just read from the court case that was settled. This is the transcript of Mr. Randy Griffin, who's the commander of the Metro Police Department. And he was asked the question in his deposition. He says, Lieutenant Andrew Zabowski came up with the classification of taking property without right. Correct? He responded yes. Question, so he's saying that you told him to come up with a solution for the theft problem, which is driving up crime statistics for the district, correct? He responded, yes. Sounds like you guys are cooking the books there, according to, this is under oath from the deposition from this case that was just settled with the person who brought the action, sergeant in your police department. But you're not cooking the books?
Congressman,
the question was to Mr. Mendelson.
As I said, there are two investigations. I know there's one internal in the Metropolitan Police Department. I know that there's an investigation by this committee. I think that the three of us
What's
here
taking property
welcome that
without right?
investigation.
What's taking property without right?
Well, that would be theft.
Why not? Well, why not call it theft? Why come up with this designation? In fact, that's what he says. He's asked the question.
Congressman, I can't speak to that particular
The solution from
case.
Mr. Zabowski was to come up with this TPWR, taking property without right. What is that? Taking property without right is what again?
If you're speaking to the particular charges, I can't speak to that. And as I've said several times here, I can't speak to that particular case. I think the issue is whether there is
I'm asking a simple question. You have a classification for crime called taking property without right. What does that mean? What does that mean?
It means just what it said, if that's what the crime is.
Well, why not call it? I mean, what would a normal person call taking property without right?
Are we talking about what the criminal code and the specific
No, I'm just
crimes
talking
are?
about that statement that you have that's grown 500% in the last several years, that specific category of crime. I'm just wondering, what does that exactly mean?
So if we look at collateral data such as ShotSpotter, we know that gunshots are down 29% from 23
Taking
to 24.
property without right was the question. What does that mean?
I've already answered you, sir.
And what'd you say again?
I said that if you're speaking to a particular offense in our criminal code, I cannot speak to that particular offense.
Why not just call it stealing? That's what we would all. Someone comes in someone comes and takes something that belongs to me, or someone comes and takes something that belongs to you, we call it stealing. Why
well,
create this
sir,
new category that grows 500% that I think allows you to cook the books
Sir,
as the
you
head
know,
of the FOP in your city
as
said
you
so?
know, as the chair of the Judiciary Committee, there are for many offenses a range of possible charges from misdemeanor to felony and different shades of felony. So I'm not I am not familiar with that particular offense.
Is it a good thing that, are you against having the National Guard here, or do you think that's been helpful to the citizens and the families and the people who live in the D.C. area?
We think that the D.C. National Guard is a very valuable and wonderful asset to the city. That's a little bit different than having thousands of guard troops stationed around the city when there is not they are not trained in law enforcement, and my understanding is that many of them were looking kind of bored with what they were doing.
On August 11th, 2025, the day the president took action here in D.C., Councilman Allen said this: "The president taking over local control of the MPD and putting the U.S. military onto the streets of D.C. under the guise of public safety is wrong. It's an extreme, outrageous, and dangerous move for our city and the safety of our residents." Do you agree with that statement by Councilmember Allen, Attorney General Schwab?
I do believe that the presence of thousands of armed troops in the district has been a problem and counterproductive for public safety in the district.
Counterproductive, dangerous. He said the second sentence, dangerous move for our city and the safety of our residents. How is 85% reduction in carjackings dangerous for the city, for the city's
I don't
residents?
believe that
Chairman Mendelson, do you believe that do you agree with Mr. Councilman Allen's statement?
Well, if the question is about the National Guard reducing carjackings, I don't think the National Guard was involved in reducing carjackings.
I'm asking about this statement. Do you agree with Councilman Allen's statement?
Could you repeat the statement again?
President taking over local control of the MPD and the U.S. military on the streets of D.C. under the guise of public safety is wrong. It's dangerous, outrageous, and extreme move for our city and the safety of our residents.
If you'll recall, at the time that he said that, the order from
He said that the day it happened.
Yes, the order from the Attorney General was that all orders within MPD would have to be approved by...
How about you, Mayor? Do you agree with the councilman's statement?
But would have to be approved by the
Asking the mayor now. I'm
DEA.
asking
I know,
the
but
mayor
I
now.
didn't finish my sentence.
Well, I'm
It has to
asking
be
the mayor the
approved by the
question. We control the
DEA.
time. Mayor
That's
Bowser, do you
complete
agree?
disorganization.
The mayor.
Mr. Jordan, I think the statement is not what happened, actually. So the Home Rule Charter allows the president to make requests of MPD through the mayor. It does not allow the president to take over MPD, which at no time happened.
Well, I'll just point out that it seems to me you disagree, because you said just 2 weeks ago, we greatly appreciate the surge of officers that enhance what MPD has been able to do with the city. We know that when carjackings go down, when gun use goes down, when homicide or robbery go down, neighborhoods feel safer. So it's like Councilman Allen doesn't know what he's talking about. Looks like you definitely disagree with him.
We, having more officers enhance the effectiveness of MPD allowed us to accelerate crime reduction.